our voice, our truth. It means everything to me. That's why I put my whole heart into my music from day one.
Now clap for me, mommy. Hey, just clap for me, mommy. Just blaze. Okay, yeah, free. Let's go. Yeah, Wale. That tú quieres mujeres, she says she blow la la. Blue side. Now she my baby mama. Get wild. Okay.
Freeway got the hood on smash, pop and take, step on gas and get ghost player. Freeway got the club on lock, step on stage, shut it down, leave with a bro. Check for age, post up, van server, circle the block. Call the cops, it's the rock in your area. Post up, distribute to the block. Freeway, move the rocks in your area. Yeah, cop try to shut me down, pop try to shut me down. Haters wanna hit me up, but my Glock carried heavy rounds, Mac carried heavy rounds, back in the Chevy truck. What? You better ring the alarm for I cock back, dump on you and your boy. Had black shoes tucked on you and your mom. But back to the song, since when it's born, me and the boys. That thing look good in the dawn, and she want me to sneak in the building like Trojan to Troy. Let's believe it's Trojans involved. Hat slipped over the boy, oh boy, we Rick Krause. Whole lot of volume and a little bit of bass is all it takes to make the place get wild. Whole lot of style and a little bit of cake is all it takes to make a skate flip sides. Crack clouds and a little bit of bass is all it takes to make the block get wild. Car keys and a little bit of cheese is all it takes to make her leave early.
Well, growing up in Philly, my first experiences, ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a rapper. It was two things that I wanted to do when they asked you in school, what you want to be when you grow up? It was a rapper and an airline pilot. And now that I'm a rapper, I fly just as much as an airline pilot. So I feel like I killed two birds with one stone. And before it's all over, I'm gonna take some flight lessons. But growing up in Philly, man, you know, I'm originally from West. Then I moved down north, probably like when I was around 13 or 14. And it's a struggle city, man. If you can make it out of Philly, you can make it everywhere. You can make it everywhere on the planet. Like, it's a struggle city. It's gritty. It's grimy. Like, you gotta get up and go get it. If you want it, you gotta go get it. It's there for you, but you gotta be willing to go get it. You know, and it was a lot of dope artists from Philly in my era when I was coming up. And everybody was different. Everybody brought something different to the table. And not everybody was able to be successful. But I feel like me being around everybody, getting a little input from everybody that I came up with that was so dope, makes me the dope MC that I am to this day. And I'm holding it down for everybody. Originally, I was out west on Parkside. So we was like right across the street from the park. So I just remember being able to go out, play in the park, play with my homies. This when I was young, like 6 or 7, and I remember just like being in love with music, you know, always wanting to hear music. I remember on the weekends, like Saturday mornings, my mom had a record player playing and she'd be sipping a little sip while she cleaned the house. And I just remember always loving music, you know, and Philly was always an energetic musical city. The first time I realized I can rap, I had to be like 4 or 5. It was crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. My mother just retired, so we threw her a retirement party, and I seen some of her friends from when I haven't seen them since I was young. So they was like, yeah, they was telling me a story. They was like, yeah, we went to this restaurant, and you was 4 years old, and it was a crowded restaurant, and you just started beating on the table, and you just started rapping. It's like, boy, we knew you was gonna be a star, you know. So I knew early, like, you know, when I would like walk down the street or go to little parties, and I was a young boy. They'd give me like 50 cents to do the Michael Jackson dance. I had the comb, I had the jacket with the zippers and everything. So I was always into it from young. It was a guy that lived. It's crazy because I forgot his name too, but like I got a lot of love for him. He actually like wrote my first couple raps. Like he used to live, like I lived on a block and he lived on 50, I think it was, he lived on Ray Street. I lived on Lindenwood, he lived on Ray Street. He was a little older than me. I was a young boy. And he used to write my raps for me and I used to go to school and battle with the raps. And he used to be like, yo, the way you flow and the way you put it together, man, you got a bright future. I know you can make it, you know. So he always put the battery in my back and made me believe in myself. Then I started writing my own raps. Now I don't even write raps. I just think them. I got the ability to not write the raps early because my handwrite, like I'm left-handed and my handwriting is sloppy. So I used to write raps and now I can't even read what I said sometimes. So I had to remember it because my handwriting was so sloppy. And then like when I was already doing it, you know, before a lot of people. Then when I got the Roc A Fella, like Jay was doing it, Beans was doing it, it was like the norm. Like, you know what I mean? It was like something that we all did. I used to be a huge Naughty by Nature fan. Tretch, I love Tretch, man. Tretch and Dress from Black Sheep. And I got a chance to meet both of them early, you know, because I was, like I said, I was always rapping. I won a Pregnancy Is Not For Me contest. I think it was middle school. I was in Sarah Middle School, and there's a guy named Stanley T. He was like one of the big disc jockeys for Power 99 at the time. And he was there judging the contest, and I won a contest. And I was like, pregnancy is not for me. And for y'all that don't know, my name is Leslie Lee. I like to kick a little rhyme for the he and the she. And before you had sex, use your mind as a key. I forgot the rest of it, but that's like how I started it off. And everybody was like, whoa, he talked about the topic. He was flowing, he was on it. So he scooped me up and he would like take me around to like shows and stuff and take me to New York, like do little showcases and stuff. And I got to meet Drez. Drez like had a show in Philly, and I like got to watch the show. I was in there late. Well, it wasn't new. I probably was like the only kid in that joint. And I'm like, yo, Dredge, you like one of my favorite rappers? Like, I'm trying to be a rapper. He was like, yeah, stay in school. I wasn't trying to hear that. And then later, like once I got on, we wound up having a show together. And you know, now that's like, you know, one of my old heads in the music business that I look up to. And Tretch, I just love his flow. He was different. Like, I love artists when you could close your eyes and you could visualize what they saying and it could come together in your head, then I could rock with you. And you know, that's how Tretch was. And I remember a funny story about Tretch. We had a show with Naughty by Nature, and it was like in the middle of the Jadakiss beef. Like we was beefing with Jadakiss and the Locks or whatever. So we was in the same hotel as Tretch. So they was like, yo, Tretch wanna talk to y'all, Tretch wanna holler at y'all. So I'm like, oh shit, Tretch. So me and Mac went to Tretch room and he was like trying to talk to us about the beef. Like, yeah, y'all need to squash the beef. Y'all don't need no beef. Like, y'all need to get along. We all brothers. And Mac like, man, Tretch, I ain't trying to hear that. S. And I'm like, yo, Mac, that's Tretch, man. Chill out. You know, we be talking to Tretch like that. Yeah, but you know, those are Tretch and Drez. They like two of my early influences. If you talk to anybody that knew me when I was young, I did. That's something that I did all the time. Like people were like, yo, he wouldn't shut up. He always rapping. Nobody told me not to rap. People might have told me I can't do it or you ain't gonna be able to do it. Like they told me like ain't no rappers with beards. At one time it felt impossible to get a record deal from Philly. Like they would have like songs and they'd be like Virginia, New York, LA, Chicago. Never say Philly. So it seemed like it was impossible. It wasn't a popular place for artists to get on. Like we always supported, like we always supported whatever was hot, you know. And as you can see to this day, Philly has a heavy influence on the music industry. From our musicians, like when you see who's going on tour, like I guarantee you, is at least one person from Philly on the band, you know, because you know we're a musical city, and you know even the women from Philly get in and take over the game, you know, doing what they do, you know. So Philly, we're definitely a powerful, heavy influential city, but at one point in time, it felt like it was impossible to get on from Philly. Pardon me, we had the success of people like Will Smith and, you know, like Steady Being Cool C, but it was like a gap between them and us. So it was a long time in Philly where it felt like it was impossible to get on. And then, you know, once I got on, it was people that said people want to hear a whole album of my voice because my voice can get irritating. But you know, that turned out to be one of the things that people love me for. So don't ever let nobody tell you you can't do it. Don't ever let nobody discourage you. If you feel like you could do it in your heart, go for it. Stay tuned for more tracks and tells. I always believed in myself. I was like one of those people like, I'm gonna make it happen regardless. Even if nobody else gets signed from Philly, I'm gonna make it happen. You know, then as time started to progress, you know, I was young and I was like around a bunch of rappers that was like doing it to a certain extent, but it wasn't like global, like Task Force, Non-Brigade, like Ram Squad, like, you know, Rich Island Projects was probably like 6 blocks from my hood. So, you know, we used to see them doing their thing. 100X, like it was a bunch of groups that was bubbling like in the underground, but nobody really achieved mainstream success. So once I started seeing those things, and then we have when Eve and Beans got on, you know, even though the Roots was on and they was doing their thing, but it just was different from what we was doing, you know what I'm saying? So it still seemed like, you know, and I was coming up when the Roots was still grinding, like when they was still putting the work in and still, you know, trying to reach a certain level. But then when I seen people like Eve and I seen people like Beanie Sigel get on, I'm really like, oh no, I know I'm gonna do it. It's people that's doing what I'm doing and I could see them and touch them. I know I'm gonna do it. I know I can do it. And you know, I just kept that mentality, and I never hated, like when I seen people get on, I was happy. I'm like, damn, somebody else get on, I know I'm getting on. And you know, alhamdulillah, I was able to make it happen. Like, I'm Muslim, and you know, Islam means to submit to God. Like, you know, it's not just a religion, it's a lifestyle. Like, I pray 5 times a day. Like, I just prayed, like, you know what I mean, while y'all was setting up, it was Dhuhr, it was time to pray. So it's a part of my life. So the type of artist that I am, I rap about my life, I rap about things I've been through, things I see. So it's naturally going to come out in the music, you know. And as I get older, you know, and I, you know, been through a lot of the things that I've been through, and as I've grown as a man, you know, my faith is become more important to me because, you know, I'm getting older, I'm focused, I'm more focused, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, I know what I'm not supposed to be doing, you know, so it's really coming out in the music even more, you know. So the new stuff that I got, the new stuff that I'm about to drop is amazing and it's heartfelt, and I feel like everybody's gonna love it.
Till the sun come up, crack a 40 when the sun go down. It's a cold winter, y'all people better bundle up. And I better be a hotter summer, grab an onion just to rock it down. You hot now, listen up. Don't you know cops' sole purpose is to lock us down and throw away the key? But without this drug issue, kids ain't got no way to eat, huh? Check, we still try to keep mom smiling, cause when the teeth stop showing and the stomach start growling, then the heat start flowing. If you from the hood, I know you feel it. If my sneak start leaning and the heat start working, then my heat start working, I'ma rob me a person. Got your hater sleeping while he out in the open, and I'ma get on. We gotta raise our kids while we live it, make $1 million off a record, but my people's out of prison, never any or left. It's my boys in the squatter. If they talk reckless and I hit them with the Smith, yeah. But I'm never snitching, I'm a router. If my kid's hungry, snatching dishes out your kitchen, I'll be wildin' till they pick me out of lineup. Yup, even though we keep the non-stop, chop dimes up, rap about it, wild out, laugh about it. I'm not trying to visit the morgue, but Freeway, move out, till I sit with the Lord, till I get my ish together, clean up my sins. Freeway got it in like 10 in the morning, and I can get it to you like 10 while you yawning, man. Check, still deliver the order, man. I ain't talking about chicken and gravy, man. I'm talking about bricks and yayo, halves and quarters, 1.5 to half. You do the math, swing past and scoop up your daughter. She wanna roll with a thug that rap, you do the math. You don't blast till my stacks in order, man. Even yo, what we do is wrong.
Beanie Sigel, that's my brother, man. Besides music, besides anything else, that's my brother in Islam, you know, and we got that bond. And it's an unbreakable bond, man. Like if he never spit another rap, if I never spit another rap, we still gonna be on the phone talking to each other. We still gonna be, you know, spending time with each other's families. When my son passed away, in Islam, our funeral is called a janaza, and it's like a little more personal than other religions. Like we wash the body, we wrap the body, we take the body to the cemetery. We actually take the body out of the coffin and we put the body in the grave with our hands physically, you know, so you feel the connection to your loved one, you know. So when my son passed away, you need at least two people in the grave to put the body in the grave. Beans was the other person besides me that put my son in his grave. So that should tell you our connection and how deep it is. My first interaction with Beanie Sigel, we was in a club called Dances. And I ain't know him from a can of spray paint. He was on stage and he was like battling, and then he was like battling one squad, then another squad they was like trying to triple team me. So I was down, I was like in the crowd, like, yo, pull me up, pull me up. So he pulled me up on stage, like, you could get it too. Like he thought I was trying to like battle him too. But I was like pushed him to the side, then I started chewing the bulls that he was going at it with, and then like we murdered them, and ever since then we built a rapport. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was once he started making moves with Roc A Fella and everything, I had got arrested for possession with attempted deliver. So I had to sit down for a minute. Then I was like home on house arrest, and I'd be talking to him. He'd be like, yeah, I'm in LA. When you get off house arrest, you're gonna be with me. We in Florida, it's lit. When you get off house arrest, you're gonna be right with me. When I got off house arrest, I was right with him. We was in New York. He was working on his album, and Jay was working on the Dynasty album at the same time. I got on 1900 Hustler, and the rest is history. I wasn't signed when we did it. Like it was like I was around, and everybody knew I was loyal, so it wasn't like a rush to sign me. Like at one point, people was coming at me like different labels, like Bad Boy. A couple people was like trying to reach out when people was hearing like, oh, he not signed. So then Damon, I was like, oh, shit, we ain't signed you out. We got to sign this thing. And then they got the paperwork done. Everybody was like, yo, you murdered it. So I'm really like, oh man, like, and back then nobody knew what you looked like. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that joint was out for months. And if people didn't know me, they didn't know it was me, or people didn't know what I looked like until we probably like did like a video or like some photo shoots or something. So it was dope. It was a good time. And I remember Jay like, I'm gonna set you up so your introduction for the world gonna be crazy. That's why he put like the elevator music in the beginning with the chick. He really had the chick that do the violins back then. She was like popular for playing the violin. You remember what I'm talking about? She had like the little funny hair. He really brought her in the studio and she was like, then I'm like, first things first, watch what you say out your mouth when you talking on the phone. Then I remember I had that one song and I had like a couple freestyles because I did like a bunch of freestyles for mixtapes and stuff. Started getting shows. I remember I had a show 1500 in Queens in the middle of the beef, like when we was beefing with Nas and everybody. Like it was like one of my first shows, but we was in there like it was whatever, like us against the world. And you know, state property, man. It's Philadelphia, man. We carry Philly on our back to this day. And the thing that's special about state property is you get a little bit of everything. Like as far as talent, like every artist brings something different to the table, and it's different from different parts of the city. You got Chris and Neve, they from Nicetown, they from Winghahawken. You got Owen Sparks, they from out west. Like I told you, I'm originally from West. Me and Sparks actually went to like first, second, third grade school together. Like, so, you know, we got that connection. Then you got Beans, South Philly. Like, you know, Petey from my way down North Philly, where I moved to once I, you know, moved out of West. So, you know, we got the whole city. We come together. Like, when state property, like, we really, like, it was real geographical. Like, even in the prisons and stuff, like, people, like, different parts of the city didn't with each other. But after state property, it was like love, like, you know what I'm saying? It was like love in the streets. It was like love in the prisons, because we brought the whole city together. And like, you know, what we did for the music game is amazing. Like, we got 2 classic albums, you know, we've been in classic beefs, you know, and you know, we still doing it to this day. We just had a show with the Locks probably 2 weeks ago. It was sold out. It was in Elizabeth, New Jersey. State property in the Locks, and it was crazy. It was sold out. Everybody loved it, you know. So that tells you what we do. 20 years later, like, we still selling out arenas, like, you know. So it's dope. I need everybody to come celebrate music culture on Tracks and Tells, exclusively on FOXSOUL. My first album, I put my whole heart out there. Like, you know, that's why some of the music resonate to this day. Like, we still hustle till the sun come up. Crack a 40 when the sun go down. I was still living that when I made that. Like, I still had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like, I'm in the studio working, like, the check might not have got cut yet, but I'm around, like, you know what I'm saying? I still gotta take care of myself, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was putting my whole life to this day, I put my whole life into the music, you know, and each of us brought something different to the table, different flows, like, you know, different ways that we delivered our pain, and the world embraced it. And, you know, Jay was and still is on top of his game. So it was like the perfect marriage, like Still Sharp and Still. We came together, we formed Voltron. We had the music, we had the clothing, like, we had the movies. I mean, I couldn't have prayed 1,000 years for a better, you know, situation. You know, it was perfect for me. Alhamdulillah. They say you take your whole life to make your first album, and I agree with that. Like, I just remember being locked in baseline. Like, it's times I took the train up there with a toothbrush and a change of drawers and was in there for like 4 or 5 days straight. Like, I had the opportunity, and I couldn't let it slip through my fingers. So I just was giving it my all. Then I had, you know, Roc A Fella, so I was able to get Nate Dogg and Snoop Dogg and Nelly, and, like, you know, like, the relationship with Nelly I built, like, that's an organic relationship that I built. I was like in his city messing with him, rocking with him, and, like, you know, it's just dope to be able to have Mariah on the first album, got Jay-Z on my first album 2 times. And, you know, to this day, people say it's a classic album. So I remember when the album's finished, it's out, and we got the first week sales about to. I remember 50 called me like, yeah, I just dropped my joint. Great, I know you about to be crazy, because me and 50 that's my bro. Like, we was real tight back then, and we, you know, that's still my bro to this day. But we used to be on the road together, so we developed a relationship. That's why I was able on the second album to do the collaboration with Jay and 50 when they both were supposed to executive produce the second album. Um, the second album, the G on it supposed to be Jay-Z, 50 Cent, both executive producing the album. Came to the table because I had a relationship with 50, and I was about to drop my second album. By this time, 50 was on top, and, you know, we still was tight. He was doing a bunch of stuff. He like, Free, whatever I could do for you, like, you know what I mean? Let's make something happen. And we came up with the idea, him and Jay both executive producing the album. We like, it's never happened before. It'd be crazy. It's gonna sell 1 million records the first week. Like, telling me, like, you gonna sell 1 million records the first week without a doubt. Like, you know, and I mean, I guess it just come from me being me, and, like, people genuinely having love for me, you know. So they tried to make it happen. At the end, it wound up not happening, but I still got a dope record from 50 on the project, and we, you know, we still tight to this day. So, you know, it is what it is, but I almost made some major shit happen. But yeah, I remember the first week, like, I'm like nervous, like, is the world, I know I love this, but is the world gonna love this? Like, are they gonna like this? Then I'm like, regardless, it's my truth, and, like, it is what it is. And then when it came out, I think we did like 160 the first week. Album is officially gold, you know. It's a critically acclaimed album. A lot of people say it's a classic, and I'm proud of it, Cause I was locked in with Just. Just was just bringing me beats. Just was in the zone. The Philadelphia Freeway zone. I remember he brought me Free. I think Free might have been the first one. I remember when I did What We Do, I was recording it with Goo, and Jay was like in the other room playing pool. And I originally brought him in so he could say to keep going. It's like just to keep going, Free, because that's something I picked up from him. Jay he the master at that. He would like always add like a little extra voice or something just to make a song doper. Like you might not even know who the it is, but you hear another voice like, yeah, or something just to make it doper. So I was like, damn, it'd be crazy if I get Jay-Z to be that voice on this song I wasn't even thinking that he was gonna do a verse. So he went in there, he listened to it, he sat on the table for like 10 minutes, he was mumbling to himself. Then he went to booth. Whole number slapping, man, just been in killed it, one take. And I had a lot of bars on that joint. So he was like, I'm gonna come back and put some more bars on it later. He had to slide. Then Beans wound up coming to the studio. I'm like, yo, I just did this joint with Jay. It's crazy. He gonna come back and finish it. So I let Beans hear it. And Beans like, man, I'm jumping on this joint. So Beans put his verse on there. And the rest is history. Classic. And I think the last record is the joint with me and Beans. Like for the taking. Whoa. And it ain't no mistaken. Cause I was like finished the album and I was like, me and Beans we need like another joint together on that joint. So we called him up to the studio. We came. I think that probably was the last one that we knocked out.
Bounce, bounce, hey. Okay. Yeah. It's BC in a place with Young Free, and we got what it takes to rock the mic, right? Yeah. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still will turn the club. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling, get necked when I'm traveling, six-pack wood when I'm traveling. FLX cause the click fit good in a caravan. Slide through your hood like an avalanche. Take a flick if you get a chance, get that close. Up in advance cause I get that dough. Beef with me, enemies come sleep with me. For breakfast, guaranteed to eat this toast. I'm reckless, fire starting, heat your foe. Starving artists that'll eat your track, so don't bring them around. I be around Rica, feed I loca. They got all the toasters, don't need no strap. I got a six stash, leave them around, so I don't get left around. Haters around when I leave, in the winter rock short sleeve, breezing the pound. With the heat blasting, keep acting, the heat blasting. Techno marine shining, marine fashion, backing them down. People going keep hating, and my clique going keep grinding, keep moving, locking the town. It's Freeway in a place to be seen, and I got what it takes to rock the mic, right? Yeah. Still watch what you say to me, prick, cause I got what it takes to dump the AK clip. It's BC in a place with Young Free, and we got what it takes to rock the mic, right? Yeah. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still will turn the club out. Big nickels down your way, don't trip. Get loaded down your way, got soldiers down your way. Keep quiet down your way, no live. All of y'all need to win yourself. Go get the burner, hater, bang yourself. Or I come through with the hammer, make you lose your health fast. Roll with dashes, move like Cassius, click, move yay like Cassius. What is a will is a way. But in my third smooth yay, yes, without spray, without nice. I just do it, ball break the basket. Yeah, you damn right. Without ice, I pull up your honey curd stuff a basket. International post player, circle the atlas. You don't wanna be hope player, circle the hood. Bend over backwards when I circle for backwoods. It's BC in a place with Young Free, and we got what it takes to rock the mic, right? Yeah. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still will turn the club out. It's Freeway in a place to be seen, and I got what it takes to rock the mic, right? Yeah. Still watch what you say to me, prick, cause I got what it takes to dump the AK clip. Hey. It's the rock, it's the rock, it's the rock, it's the rock FT. Hey, bounce, holla, yeah.
Hot 97. So Jay, I don't know the exact timing in between, but I feel like it might have been like a Friday or a Monday, or maybe it might have been like a Monday and Friday. But Jay was like, "We going on Hot 97, such and such. Have your bars ready." So we like bet, like, you know what I mean? That's what we do. We from Philly, so we go up there. Of course, I had no idea how big it was gonna be, but I told myself whenever somebody start rapping, I'm rapping. So that's why if you notice, I was like monster in that joint. Whenever like somebody started rapping, I was rapping. Like, and that night, like it was just electricity. Like people was calling up the radio, people was going crazy, like, you know, but it probably didn't set in to probably like Monday or Tuesday of that week. Like, you know, because everybody, it wasn't like social media where you could get it instant. So like I'll be back in Philly, I hear people riding around playing it. I'm like, yo, it was like mixtapes, Hot 97 mixtapes. Like that joint was heavy in the streets. That joint probably was like triple platinum in the streets. The Roc A Fella split. You ever been smacked with a bag of wet nickels? You ever been hit with a ton of bricks? Oh man, when the split happened and we found out that we were dropped from Roc A Fella, our voice, our truth, it means everything to me. That's why I put my whole heart into my music from day one. The Roc A Fella split. You ever been smacked with a bag of wet nickels? You ever been hit with a ton of bricks? Oh man, when the split happened and we found out that we were dropped from Roc A Fella, of course, like it was like devastating. Like, you know, I'm like, what are we gonna do now? It took me a minute, probably like a couple weeks just to process everything. And then once I really figured it out, I'm like, the hard job is already done. I'm already famous. I'm already a household name. So I went back to what got me there in the first place, and that's hard work. I was dropping mixtapes. I did something called Month of Madness, where I dropped a record every day for 31 days. On the last day, I gave y'all 2 records. I did the Stimulus package with Jake 1, and we're working on Stimulus Pack 2, by the way, too, and it's coming out amazing. I did a couple independent projects. I was just doing whatever I can do to stay relevant because I still loved music at the time. I still had a passion for it. I still felt like I had more to say. So I kept pushing. I maintained my relationships with everybody. We did the B-sides with Jay. And I got there a little earlier than everybody else. Hollered at Big Homie, brought him some music, brought him 2 CDs in case he lost one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just try to do a little bit more every time. And it came to a point where I was like, Big Homie, I need to come home. I got this music, it's incredible. What can we do? And he was like, free is nothing. And then the next week we was getting the deal done with Roc Nation, and I dropped Think Free in 2018 with Roc Nation.
Plenty rises, several falls. I want y'all to notice me. That's all. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall. In the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a job, gotta get on my grind. Ain't no ladies gonna date me with no paper at all. Gotta walk now, cause Lord knows that I crawl. And them haters gonna hate me once I'm able to ball. I'ma go and get that cake and take it straight to the mall. I'm a dropped out convertible, Mercedes the car. So they notice me. On her top several weeks, she ain't noticed me. Back in school, got her flowers and candy. She kissed me on the cheek, now she goes with me. A rose from them bitches, they know it's me. I'm thinking about her, I can't go to sleep. Hope she come talk to me like I'm Jodeci. She is all about the green and I know it's true. Rich got scooped her up, now I know we through. Damn, I am so confused. How did this girl leave me wondering? Why? Chasing them dollars, that's how they do. Bank notices, car notices, house notices, late notices. We were stuck on the streets, they ain't notice us. We got on our feet, now they notice us. Death notices, court notices, new notices, with no assist. We were stuck on the block, they ain't notice us. We got our shot, now they notice us. On Instagram, hope they notice me. On Facebook, so they notice me. Twitter non-stop, hope they notice me. TikTok round the clock, so they notice me. I got the highest when I was at the lowest. It was hard to focus, ain't nobody noticed. They say he's so strong, he got the world on his shoulders. Wasn't praying, I was smoking, but don't nobody know this. My guy, tell me, who do you turn to when you the one that everybody turn to? They tell me that I shine cause I earned it. That don't mean that the pain don't burn through. My mom got him in her urn, woo. Ain't know the D, she was so confused. Tried to school her, she kept wondering. Tried to step in, make a better move for my brother, cause I love him. It's his right to be buried like a Muslim is supposed to, and I need a law to notice him. Even though I can't come with him, I pray that I see him in heaven when I go there. We good niggas. The weapon tuck, we invisible. They ain't notice us. And we good, nigga. We leveled up. They see the visual and they know what's up. Effing and be throwing up, you go with us. Rolls Royce truck pulling up and they know it's us. Was the dustiest, unluckiest. Now my career's illustrious. Got my duffels up.
Bank notices, car notices, house notices, late notices. We was stuck on the streets, they ain't notice us. We got on our feet, now they notice us. Death notices, court notices, new notices, with no assist. We was stuck on the block, they ain't notice us. We got our shot, now they notice us. On Instagram, hope they notice me. On Facebook, so they notice me. Twitter non-stop, hope they notice me. TikTok round the clock, so they notice me.
I'm still clueless. I just want someone to notice me.
That's that notice me. That's what it's all about. Everybody out here trying to get noticed. When you log on to Instagram, when you log on to Twitter, you log on to Facebook, you're doing it because you're trying to get noticed. Attention is the strongest drug to known to man. That fame is the strongest drug known to man. Don't get addicted to it.
If it wasn't for my faith in Islam and my understanding of Islam, I don't know where I would be, because like I lost my son in 2020. Before my son died, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer in September of 2020. So soon as my son died, me and my daughter rumbling. Like, you know what I mean? She got this cancer called sarcoma, and it's like she like had tumors everywhere. Like, and we was like going back and forth to the hospital, and like we was fighting. She was in good spirits. We was hopeful, you know. In October 2021, you know, she lost her battle. And like I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna lose my daughter after I just lost my son. But you know, my faith and my understanding in Islam is God is not gonna put nothing on you that you can't handle. Our prophet, peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad, in Islam, we look at him as like he's the best of mankind. He lost 6 of his children. Just reading the hadiths and you know, studying and learning how he dealt with the situation, you know, did a lot for me, you know. And not only do I have faith, I feel it, like I believe it. It's things that I've seen and things that I dealt with that lets me know there's no doubt in my mind that God is real and that Islam is real. Like, you know, I know it for a fact. In Islam, we believe like when your loved ones pass away, it's things that you can do for them, you know, that'll aid them, you know, while they're in the grave waiting to be judged. Now you could donate charity in their name. Like you could pray for them, like, you know, all these things that we can do for them. And I gotta be around and I gotta be able to do these things for my kids for as long as I'm around. Because I know, like, if I ain't doing it, ain't gonna be too many people jumping in line to do that, you know. So that's motivation for me. My daughter, she passed away from cancer Like, you know, I started this foundation, Freedom Thinkers Inc. and Freedom Thinkers Academy, which is music, health, education, and culture. So we doing a lot for the community. We just had a cancer ride like a week ago. It probably was like 400 bikes out there. Like we rolled all the way through the city, just raising awareness about cancer. As far as myself, you know, I had kidney failure. I received my gift of life February 5th, 2019, when I received my new kidney. So I try my best to I work with the National Kidney Foundation with the gift of life, and I just try my best to like spread awareness about kidney health and, you know, about taking the proper steps to protect yourself from kidney failure and from diabetes and the things that led to my kidney failure. And with Freedom Thinkers on the education side, you know, we got some STEM force work development programs. We just had 7 students graduate our phlebotomy course. So we took the students, we paid them to come take the course. They took the course, they passed the course, and now we're assisting them in getting jobs in the phlebotomy, you know, area. That's what I try to do besides the music. Like I try to do as much as I can to give back, you know, to the community. And, you know, I do a lot of these things in my children's name so they can get blessings for it too.
Baby, come get it to a I give it play with you. She got a shake like a stripper. Baby, come get it to a come and shake it.
I never heard nobody like that. For me, power behind it, bars, metaphors, everything, swag. He put on for me.
Damn, Kocky, this a big one.
Baby, come get it to a I give it play with you. She got a shake like a stripper. Baby, come get it to a come and shake it. Come here, baby, come get it to a I keep it playing with you. Shorty riding and she shake it like a stripper. Show you like me, just don't say it to it. Yeah, you went from a loser to a winner. Happy with demons, I'm a sinner. You know I keep a couple hitters. They keep making them hanging bitches shaker. How this thing got me colder than December. Baby, it's God be my witness. That's where you got it dripping. You got me feeling so tremendous. Baby, don't let me finish. I wanna know what you with it, little mama. Yeah, we gon' make a killing. Now them niggas tryna leave on me a minute. Baby, I ain't the one, yeah, I've been it. No, get it to a nigga. Baby, gon' get it to a nigga. No. She like a stripper. Watch how we made it sicker. Baby, you got me tryna lose my mind. If I try, I can't get over you. I cannot lie, started as a vibe, but no wife, but I'm so confused. Mama, you thinking you bad? And she all about her bag. Mommy, come wind up on me slow. Fuck it, girl, and come take a picture. You for me, shawty with a deal. Come get it to me so I know it's real. I ain't finished feeling in a little minute. I think I had a full of feel. Wanna love you, I won't hurt you now. Come let me show you now. I got her legs in the air, coming through that shit right in a circle now. Like a scripper, yeah, I keep a paw. I keep a paw. Shooters with me like they eat it go. Except for me, feel like 3 below. Be good, we ain't making love. I like that. When you do, I show you dangerous. I'm serving nigga like a caterer. Let me cater to you. You know that cocky don't play. These suckers cannot relate. Won't see the light of the day. I'm a nigga, pull triggers. The guns go with so much more. So you wonder why I ain't playing with you. Come here, baby, come cater to a nigga. I keep it playing with you. Shorty riding and she shake it like a stripper. Show you like me, just don't say it to a nigga. Yeah, you went from a loser to a winner. Happy with demons, I'm a sinner. You know I keep a couple hitters. They keep making them hanging bitches shaker. How this pink got me colder than December. Baby, it's God be my witness. That's where you got it dripping. You got me feeling so tremendous. Baby, don't let me finish. I wanna know what you with it, little mama. Yeah, we gon' make a killing. Now them niggas tryna label me a menace. Baby, I ain't the one, yeah, I've been it. No, get it to it. Baby, gon' get it to it. No. She like a stripper. Watch how we made it nigga sicker.
Yo, growing up in Brooklyn was a jungle, man. For me,
You have to be only the strong survive, man. For me, strong survive. That's it. Being a rapper from Brooklyn, it means everything. For me, it's the culture. For me, the home of Big. For me, son, epic. For me, epic. Favorite rapper from Brooklyn, clearly Big. For me, or Peter Big. For me, so Big, my favorite rapper because the culture. For me, his sound. You never heard nobody. I never heard nobody like that. For me, power behind it, bars, metaphors, everything, swag. And he put on for me, stop playing like that. Yeah. When I'm writing music, first thing I think about is success. For me, big success. For me, what the music gonna take me after. For me, the reactions, everything. Reaction is everything. Rap means everything to me because I was grown. I was brought up in it. I seen my uncles, my older cousins, my pops, they listened to it, brought me around it. I started as a youngin', for me, listening to it, so why not? If I wasn't rapping, I never really thought about not rapping, you know what I mean? I never thought about a plan B, a second option. I feel like that's my first option. I never make another option. I never make a plan B because I never want to take away from that plan A. First time I started to rap, I seen the older heads in my hood rapping, and we went to the studio and they was in the studio. We hopped in the booth. Let me try that. And for me, then once I tried it, I seen everybody in the hood rocking with it. Everybody everywhere rocking with it in the studio. So like, yo, we got something here. We believed in it. Oh, yo, the first rapper I met, I gotta go with Fresher. For me, like my cousin, like that was the first rapper I met. For me, other than that, I gotta go with Beanie the Butcher. First rapper. For me, got a track. Yeah, track called Set the Tone, man. Go tune in. I'm tryna really put on for the game. I can't wait until we young. The young niggas ain't really got faith, so I'ma show them just because. Remember these we ain't having, now we got it now. Who got the street about the mud? Remember saying that we would be all good, now we dripping, causing floods. Some of my niggas stay motivated. They gon' try to knock you over your palm, and nigga, you know they hatin'. All of my niggas treating like my brothers, we move like we all related. This shit burn, you stand. This shit was all created. Keep 'em up, that's all I'm saying. Stay motivated, stay motivated. They gon' try to knock you over your grandma, nigga, you know they hatin'. All of my niggas treating like my brothers, we move like we all related. This shit burn, you stand. This shit was all created. Keep 'em up, that's all I'm saying. Stay motivated. All them youngins watching us put on, it's mandatory that we gotta win. I'm with the that I call my brothers, we got each other, went from boys to men. I treat them all the same, ain't no way I can change. Real nigga, I remain. I took the heart away. In the city, Brooklyn, ballin' like High and James. We not the same. No, they watching, yeah, I'm on a gun. Told you that I'm one of a kind. Don't compare, must be out of your mind. I'm really having my way, they cannot relate. From the bottom, made a way. I got this out the mud, put on for my hood and make sure that my people straight. They know that I'm taking off, no I can fall off. That's why I'm working day to day. They really see how we living, yeah, I ain't my business. I got this shit above for pain. All I know, all I know. I can't afford, no I won't. We got this shit in a frenzy. You know the whole gang, they get busy. You know we ain't playing the middle. You either with me or against me. We want it up 150s. They to the last, no, it don't fit me. I will not go on that club if I can't get inside with the city. She be like, Kocky, you litty. I got my name up, a reason why we staying dangerous. One thing I can die broke and famous. I don't know a nigga nothing. I got it all myself. Got it by my lonely. No, I ain't having no help. Wonder why the people hating. You know it ain't good for your health. Niggas saying that they was for me. Really, nigga, how can I tell? Niggas think I am entitled to get him a title because they see my shit on title. No, they ain't stopping my shine, yeah, why they be lying? Just dying to go viral. They'll treat you like an idol, put that in the Bible, but knowing they won't like you. Okay, you know know we can meet, we ain't done beat, but niggas must be suicidal, but we on a mission. My body different, tryna put more dogs in position, leveled up from the trenches. I'm tryna really put on for the game, I can't wait until we young. The young niggas ain't really got faith, so I'ma show them just because. Remember these we ain't having, now we got it now, got it straight about the mouth. Remember saying that we would be all good, now we dripping causing floods. Some of my niggas stay motivated, they gon' try to knock you over your karma, nigga, you know they hate. All of my niggas treating like my brothers, we move like we all related. This shit, you stand, this shit was all created. Keep them up, that's all I'm saying. Stay motivated, stay motivated. They gon' try to knock you over your karma, nigga, you know they hate. All of my niggas treating like my brothers, we move like we all related. This shit, you stand, this shit was all created.
Dead or Alive? If I could get a feature, I gotta go with Drake. Feel me? Like, my boy don't miss, man. Feel me? I was gonna go with somebody else, but I'm going with Drake, man. He don't miss. The GOAT, feel me? Top 5 MCs, I'm going with Big. I'm going with Jay. I'm going with Jadakiss. I'm going with Meek. And I'm going with Drake. It's my top 5, man. Yeah. One thing rap is missing, me, right now. For me, it's missing the game, missing me, man, for a fact. The favorite thing about being an artist is the support, fans. When they know your song, that's different. When they saying it, the words you put together, that's different for me. So I gotta go with that. Our voice, our truth. And that means to me, speak what you believe in. Speak your truth. You know, whatever you believe in, stick with it. Don't let nobody change it. Be you. Fact.